Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am really excited today because I'm going to take you along for a reading vlog. I am going to dive into my first Emily Henry read, and I have Beach Read right here. I actually purchased this book months ago. I have been really excited to read it, but I have been holding off because I have a beach trip planned. So my goal with this book is I want to read it, but I also want to really savor it. I've heard so many wonderful things from everybody on the internet, including my own mother, about how wonderful Emily Henry books are. And I just haven't had the opportunity to dive into this one yet. So I haven't read any others because a lot of people say this is their favorite. So if you're an Emily Henry reader, what is your favorite blow? Is it this one? And if it isn't, which one do I have to read next? Few goals with this read. I am a naturally quick reader, so my hopes are to take my time with this text, and I'm going to do that by annotating. I have seen the trends of really aesthetically beautiful annotations that include lots of colors, glitter pens, all of this amazing stuff that puts my days of underlining in pencil to just absolute shame. So I'm gonna have fun with this book. I've selected a couple great annotation tools that I will share with you. I also, like I said, I want to savor it. I want to take my time with this one here. And then I'm going to take you along and actually read it on the beach. That's why I've been savoring this one. It's one that I feel like I need to beach read while my toes are in the sand. Let's talk about tools. I've been annotating with a lot of flags recently because I've been reading so many books from the library. So I wanted to make sure that I built a custom color palette for this book. I didn't have a really bright red, but if you look really close, this pink in the middle kind of matches the pink. I also didn't have a mustard yellow. I have like 10 different shades of this color blue. I don't know what I'm going to pick my little annotation flags for, but I'll be sure to build a key when I decide. I have started just adding a couple fun little details. I want this book to be pretty when I come back to it. Hello, back with a little update for you. I will say I brought Beach Read to the beach, but reading on the beach was nearly impossible. I also struggled to film while on the beach. It was just so hot. It was a glorious, gorgeous day, but not one where I was able to sit and annotate. I should have thought about that going in. The beaches sandy, wet. I had my book in this little protector cover carrier thing, and yeah, wasn't going to be able to read there. But when I got home, I dove in and I did what I said I wanted to do, which was take my time with the text, go in and really just like highlight and annotate a bunch. I'll do a flip through for you. I have my key pretty much all built out. I chose 5 little annotation flags. I really only used 3 so far. I'm about 80 pages in, and I am just really I'm in love. Like, I'm absolutely in love with Emily Henry's writing. I agree with everyone that I've heard talk about just the way that she describes things. She describes them in such a beautifully romantic way that leaves me just like living in the romance scene that she wants me to be in. Here's a little bit of a spoiler free look at where I'm at right now in the book. Like I said, I'm about 80 pages in, and I honestly just want to reach into this book and give January Andrews, who is our female main character, a giant hug. She's just really going through it right now. She is in the thick of grief. She's also in these circumstances where she's having to start over. She's in a new home. She's gone through a breakup. Her relationship with her mother isn't really that close at the moment, and she's really just at a crossroads in her life. She is a successful author who has published 4 books in the past, and she is on this extremely tight deadline for the next 3 months. She has to finish her manuscript, and she is absolutely stuck and in a place where she doesn't believe in happy ever afters again. So, one of the plot points that we know from the back of the book and the synopsis is that she meets another writer who writes novels that are more great American novel, Ernest Hemingway novels, rather than what our female main character January writes, which is women's fiction. She makes a lot of really great points about the genre itself, and as a forever romance, YA, new adult, contemporary romance reader, I just love the points that she makes standing up for her works and other authors' works all around. January is explaining how she feels on page 68, and she says, "Yeah, well, you're not the only one who doesn't understand it. I know how to tell a story, Gus. I know how to string a sentence together. If you swapped all my Jessicas for Johns, you know what you'd get? Fiction. Just fiction. Ready and willing to be read by anyone, but somehow, by being a woman who writes about women, I've eliminated half the Earth's population from my potential readers. And you know what? I don't feel ashamed of that. I feel pissed that people like you will assume my books couldn't possibly be worth your time, while meanwhile, you could chart on live TV and the New York Times would praise your bold display of humanity." I am just ready for January to continue to slay Gus. I think one of the best parts about this book, and one that I'm going to continue to love as I get deeper in, is the witty banter between January and Gus, who is our main male character, our other infuriating author. They are just making magic in here right now. So I'm going to keep reading along with you. This has not gone as planned. My plan was to start this morning reading. I had about 150 pages left, and I wanted to just get a little bit further, stop, give you an update, do some more reading vlog, and then come back and meet you at the end. But I found myself, I can tell you exactly where I was. I got to 20, and I was having just very complicated thoughts about our couple. And it's not that I didn't like them. I like them. I like them both as characters. I think I feel this way because I want to protect January Andrews at all costs. Like I love her. I absolutely love who she is, her snark, her beautiful brain. This is such a story of healing for me. I cried. I cried with her when she, and this is what I will say, I didn't want to, I'll talk about non-spoiler things, and then I will mark a little section and talk about things that are just for people that are looking to get spoiled or have already read this book, because there are just so many beautiful moments to talk about. So one of the themes of this book is that January, our main character, is dealing with the sudden loss of her father. It was about a year ago, and she's still deep in trying to come to terms with what life looks like now. And then there's also the big secret that she found out about her dad. So really wrestling with the fact that she can't ask him questions when I'm going to do my little spoiler section. So I will put here on the screen when you can come back if you're not looking to get spoiled, but I do always make sure to have my chapters and my time codes listed, so if you are on a device, you can just press on right over to the next chapter. Here are my spoilers for this one. Spoiler 1, when I started crying. So I could feel the emotions kind of start to percolate when, after the book event, Gus is having his Naomi thing. I don't even care about that. That's not what's making me emotional. When January gets home and Sonia's on the porch. That's literally just like, I got hot. I was like, oh no, oh no. And I was mad because there was part of me that was like, this woman does not have this right. Like, she just doesn't. Like, she says, I need 5 minutes of your time. Like, she's not asking for it. And I understand that January's dad left Sonia the letter in the will, and that was a part of his last wishes. But I part of me understands. I mean, it's a book. I understand why this scene was forced, like why the conversation like had to be on Sonia's terms. But I just hated watching that happen to January. I also but one of the things that I loved was, in her time of need, her best friend like was right there, and just like having those feelings. Like, absolutely, there are people that I would drop everything in the world for, and people that I know would do the same for me, and it's touching, and I wish we had more of them. We did have really good texting conversations between the two of them, and as a person that most of my friends live in other places, I really appreciate showing that friendship can be so close even when it is so far, when it is so many times between seeing each other. You can just come back, pick up, and this person can come back into your life and really just help you build anew. So I really loved that aspect of it. I don't remember what the other spoiler I was going to talk about was now, and I stopped myself. But yeah, no, okay, so the basement scene. They do their thing. They go over to his house, and then they go to like the 4th of July party, and he gets like the phone call. And like, that was the moment where I was just like, honestly, I want to see these two as friends. Or like, I would have been okay with them like having their moments, having their steamy, intimate moments, and then being like, thank you so much. You are a season in my life that I needed, a chapter that I can now close, and I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go move on, and I'm going to be happy. I didn't like that at the end we had some bullshit proposal a year ago. I'm like, what? It seemed so out of place, and I think and then I keep like convincing myself that it wasn't out of place, but it's like purposefully placed there to prove a point. But yeah, what did he say? January Andrews, a year ago I met you for the second time, and it's changed my life. I don't care how it ends as long as I spend it all with you. Like I'm mad. I'm not happy about that. But I'm mad, but I still don't think this is a bad book. It's the opposite. I think this was an absolutely fantastic book. And I love that I can love this book and I can love these characters even if I didn't like where they ended up. Even if there were storylines that I was like, ooh, I wish that was different. I wholeheartedly appreciated this book. And I think it stands to say how good of a book it is that I didn't like what happened, but I still liked it so much. Like, this is still a 4.5 star read for me. I took my time. This took me 2 weeks to read. Like, today was the only day I really did any speed reading, and I did it because I just couldn't help myself. I kept telling myself that I was going to stop. I really wanted to talk about when I had the realization that I didn't want them to be together. I was going to pop on and tell you, and I texted my best friend. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, or I like said to my partner, I was like, am I broken? Like, this is a great love story. They had some wonderful, cute, amazing dates. Like, you couldn't have had like, it was such a meet cute with them, like, not knowing but knowing. I would have also loved to hear that from like his perspective. Like, when did he know it was her after the first night? Because she didn't know at first that it was him. Complicated feelings about this one. But I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this wild journey that was the first of many annotation projects I'm going to take on this year. Absolutely. I just had so much fun with this one. And I have some amazing favorite quotes. I'll just like pull a couple cute little things that I took pictures of. I also doodled a little bit in this book, and I could see myself going back and doodling some more just because this is mine. And I'm going to continue to love and honor and make this my copy. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. What did you think of my reading vlog? Have you read this book? I would love to hear your thoughts. Are they complicated like mine, or are they pretty straightforward? I mean, this could have been and should have been just a really easy love story, a beach read for me. One that literally I can read in an afternoon, but instead I took a journey with this book, and I'm really happy where I ended up. If you like bookish content like this, please be sure to subscribe. I post new videos on Mondays, and I hope to see you there.